Hackers shut down my YouTube account. The third quarter performance is sort of lacking, and are we headed towards a correction? Let's talk about it. Hello everybody, Joe Wirbick coming at you. And if you haven't noticed, my YouTube account no longer exists. So everything they never told you has been shut down by hackers. So my roughly 100 plus videos are gone. Hopefully I'll be able to restore some of it. So if you've been a loyal subscriber, I hope you get this message. I hope you're able to subscribe again. I was doing well. I had a few hundred subscribers. Things were looking great. And then hackers came in and ruined that for me. So we're just going to start over again. So please, when you get this video, please do me a favor and subscribe so that we can keep the channel going. On a, I guess, not as bright of a note, the stock market has sort of not been performing well in the third quarter. So the Dow Jones is negative. The S&P's barely holding on. The only market that's actually performing okay is the NASDAQ. So technology is doing better in the third quarter. I believe the markets are going to finish out well for the year. And that brings us to the next area, which is the market headed for a correction? I'm starting to see this more and more in the media. People are saying the markets could end up negative for the year. We could be heading in correction territory. Look, in most years, we have volatility. And in most up years, we have correction. So the market will correct 5, 10, maybe 15%. So is a correction possible? Of course it is. The NASDAQ's had two major corrections. The S&P's had a correction. The Dow Jones has had multiple corrections. So we could see a correction. But is this bull market at an end? Not even close. There's still $4.5 trillion of cash sitting in money market accounts. Not all, but the majority of leading economic indicators are pointing towards this economy continuing to grow for months, if not years into the future. People are getting more jobs, so unemployment rates are dropping. The job payroll farm reports are increasing. We're seeing minimum wage raised. We're seeing debt being wiped out. People are paying off the debt. We're seeing the savings rate stay around 11 to 13% in this country. Everything is showing me that this economy is going to continue to grow. And this isn't me being pro-Republican or pro-Democrat or pro-anything other than pro-America and pro-you, my listeners, my people out there who are watching. Things look good. Are we going to see volatility? No doubt about it. Let's talk about housing. Housing is going to continue to grow. Remember, we are on the precipice of having an entire extra generation of people who will want to buy housing. So basically we have three generations of people in the United States right now. We have the baby boomers that represent about 90 million Americans. We have the Gen Xers, that's me, that represents about 60 million Americans. And as I've said time and time again on this channel, when the baby boomers were retiring, that was 90 million people retiring and only 60 million of us to replace those 90 million. Now we have millennials. Millennials represent around 100 to 110 million people, and they want to buy houses. They're getting jobs, they're spending money, they're investing in the stock market. They're helping this economy grow. They're putting money into the Social Security fund. So my video last week, if you missed it, and I apologize, it's gone forever, I'll have to redo it. Social Security is not going anywhere. So we have a really interesting time right now where we have 90 million people retiring and about 160 to 170 million people still working, still contributing to society, still buying goods and services. The average American spending will increase until about age 58, and then it begins to fall off a cliff. So my generation, we're still a decade and a half away from there. Millennials, they got a good 20, 30 years until we get there. So this housing bubble, I shouldn't say bubble, this housing market should continue to climb. Now, is it going to grow by the 17% that it grew over the previous 12 months? No, it's not going to grow at that rate. And we are seeing the inventories rise. So we're seeing more and more houses come available on the market. In fact, there's a concern right now that when the moratorium on mortgages is ended at the end of September, there could be up to 1.7 million homes flood the market. I think that's complete malarkey. I don't see that happening. I think the majority of people who are on the moratorium are just saying, hey, if I don't have to pay my mortgage, I'm not going to pay my mortgage. And as soon as the moratorium's lifted, they'll start paying their mortgage again. So there could be a few houses. Zillow's putting it at maybe 25% of those roughly 1.7 million homes could come on the market. And that just means there's more homes available to be purchased. So does that mean that housing values are going to plummet? No, that just means that housing is not going to continue to grow at 15 to 20% per year, which is unsustainable as it is. But housing could continue to grow at a 8 to 12% return for the next number of years. So housing looks good. It's not like it was back in 2008. Remember, back in 2008, all you had to have was a pulse and they gave you money. Today, if you want to buy a home, you have to have a credit score above 760. You have to put 20% down in most cases. And if the house doesn't appraise at the crazy price that you were going to pay for it, you have to come up with the cash. So the housing market is different. The job market is different. This is a strong economy. And this is not me being pro-Biden or anti-Trump. This is me being, as I said, pro-America right now. The country looks good, so don't run and hide. Now is not the time to get out and run to the corners. Now's the time to invest in America. Now's the time to be, as I don't want to sound nationalist, but yeah, now's the time to say, this is a great country. We have a lot going for us, and the next decade could be amazing. I look forward to taking the journey with you. So again, if you have subscribed before, please resubscribe to this new channel. If you have ideas for future videos, please put those in the comments below. Thank you very much for your support, and I will see you next week.